Okay, 1031 exchange. There's really no calculation here, just as an investor understanding what it is and how you can use it in the future. If you're brand new to real estate investing, it probably wouldn't be something that you're worried about right now. But as you move on in your career, when you go to, let's say you have a property, you bought it at $100,000, it appreciated to $200,000, and you paid off a good chunk of debt. If you go to sell that property, you're going to get hit with capital gains taxes at the federal level. And the federal government wants to encourage you to continue to be a landlord, continue to trade up. So what the 1031 exchange does is allow you to sell that property, defer those capital gains taxes, and then trade that those gains up into a larger property. Use that as a down payment for a larger property. So there are a lot of rules around 1031 exchanges. There are certain companies that help take you through the 1031 exchange to make sure that you're following all the tax laws and doing it properly. You have to identify a property within a certain period of time. And you should definitely use a 1031 exchange company if you're going to be doing this exchange.
Yeah, and to give some numbers behind it, just so it's very clear. Let's say you bought a property for $300,000 and you had a $200,000 loan, and 5 years later it's worth $500,000, right? So if you're going to sell that property, you're going to be cashing out $300,000. Now, if you obviously don't want to pay Uncle Sam, its fair share of that $300,000 in profits. So what you can do is just take that $300,000 and roll that into your next property tax-free. So you can take that $300,000, put it down as a 25% down payment on a loan, and go buy a $1.2 million building. And which is really the reason why a lot of people use this as a wealth building tool, because it allows you to take all of your previous gains and keep rolling them into larger and larger buildings.
The only thing I would say is tax deferred.
Tax deferred.
Never tax free. Government's always going to take their money eventually. It's tax deferred because they're allowing you to defer it, put it into the next building. Eventually, when you do go to sell that extra building, you will have to pay taxes on that whole lump. Let's say, in Lior's example, your $300,000 that was supposed to pay capital gains on it. Let's say you traded that up into a larger property. Another $300,000 was accumulated onto that property. Eventually, you would have to pay the capital gains taxes on these 600 as an entire nut.